Melania Trump, the wife of President Donald Trump, has always had an air of mystery about her. Her journey from a small European town to the grandeur of the White House has captured people's curiosity for years. Many have speculated about her marriage, her life story, and what lies beneath her reserved demeanor. Now, at 54, Melania is opening up about her past, ready to shed light on things that, until now, were just rumors or guesses. What surprising truths might she reveal? And how could these revelations reshape how we see the Trump family and their time in the White House? Melania Trump, born Melania Knaus on April 26, 1970, in what is now Slovenia, grew up in a world far removed from the glamour she would later embrace. Her father, Victor Knaus, started as a chauffeur before working in car part sales. His ties to the League of Communists of Yugoslavia likely gave the family certain advantages. Her mother, Amalia, worked as a pattern maker at a children's clothing company called Jutran in their hometown of Sevnica. The Knaus family lived in state-run housing, which was typical of communist countries at the time. Still, their apartment was relatively well-maintained, with brightly colored walls that stood out from the drab interiors common in that era. Although the Communist Party officially discouraged religion, Melania and her older sister Inez were secretly baptized as Catholics, a quiet act of defiance shared by many in Yugoslavia, reflecting the divide between government rules and private beliefs. Melania also had an older half-brother from her father's previous relationship, though she never met him. From a young age, she was immersed in the local fashion world. Sevnica was known for its textile industry, and as the daughter of a factory worker, Melania often participated in children's fashion shows. These early runway experiences likely sparked her interest in modeling. She developed a love for fashion early on, learning to customize and sew her own clothes by watching her mother. This hands-on experience taught her the basics of garment design and construction, skills that would later come in handy during her modeling career. From an early age, Melania valued education and excelled in school, even earning the role of school treasurer as a teenager. Around that time, her family moved to a two-story house in Sevnica, marking an improvement in their living situation. Despite growing up under communist rule, Melania was fascinated by American culture. Ronald Reagan's presidency stood out to her as a symbol of change and hope for her country's future. Her curiosity about global politics and the United States only grew. When CNN International launched in 1985, it gave her family a window into American media and culture. This exposure deepened Melania's interest in the Western world, planting the seeds for the life she would one day lead. At 15, Melania took a big leap by moving to Ljubljana, Slovenia's capital, to attend the secondary school for design and photography. At first, she commuted daily by train from Sevnica, but after her first year, she and her sister Inez relocated to Ljubljana permanently. This move brought her closer to the world of fashion and set the stage for her future career. After graduating at 19, Melania enrolled in the Faculty of Architecture and Civil and Geodetic Engineering to study design. However, her modeling career quickly took center stage, and her studies fell by the wayside. During her husband's presidential campaign, Melania claimed she had earned a degree in architecture from a Slovenian university. But reporters couldn't verify this, finding no evidence of her attending college for more than a year. Melania's journey was anything but ordinary. From customizing clothes in a modest state-run apartment to gracing the covers of high-fashion magazines, she carved out a unique path. But what challenges did this ambitious young woman from Slovenia face in the competitive world of modeling? Let's take a closer look. Melania's modeling career technically began at just 5 years old, but it wasn't until she turned 16 that her potential was truly noticed. Slovenian fashion photographer Stane Jurko spotted her at a school fashion show, kickstarting her professional modeling journey. Interestingly, Melania originally dreamed of becoming a fashion designer, and her early love for design would later shape both her modeling work and her business ventures. Her first big break came when she won a modeling contest with the Italian studio Ceita, which even included a movie role. However, she turned down the opportunity after a producer made inappropriate advances. As Melania continued pursuing her career, she adopted the name Melania Knaus and began looking for opportunities outside Slovenia. She traveled across Europe to grow her portfolio and gain experience in the industry. In 1992, she made a splash by becoming the runner-up in the JANA magazine Look of the Year contest. This achievement offered international modeling contracts to the top contestants, opening new doors for Melania. She signed with RVR Reclaim in Milan, but the partnership didn't last long, just a few months. Over the next few years, she traveled extensively throughout Europe, landing various modeling jobs that helped her refine her craft and build her reputation. One of these assignments would prove to be particularly noteworthy. In 1993, Melania landed a modeling gig where she played the role of the first female president of the United States, a role that now feels oddly prophetic given her future as First Lady. By the time she was 23 or 24, her modeling career had taken off enough for her to live in Paris, where she shared an apartment with her roommate, Victoria Salad. Immersed in the vibrant European fashion scene, she continued building her portfolio and reputation. A major turning point came in 1995 when she met Paolo Zampoli, co-owner of Metropolitan Models in Milan. Zampoli, who also happened to know Donald Trump, was impressed by Melania's potential and encouraged her to move to the United States, offering to represent her there. This meeting set the stage for a pivotal shift in both her career and her life. In 1996, at the age of 26, Melania took the leap and moved to Manhattan. Zampoli helped her get settled, arranging for her to share an apartment at Zeckendorf Towers in Union Square with photographer Matthew Atanian. Like many new models, her rent was deducted from her earnings with Zampoli's agency, a common practice in the industry. This move to New York City would prove to be the beginning of an entirely new chapter in Melania's journey. Unlike many of her modeling peers, Melania stood out for her disciplined lifestyle. She was careful about her diet, steered clear of the party scene, and focused on her career. However, her first weeks in the U.S. were challenging. Her travel visa didn't allow her to work, but she still managed to take on 10 modeling jobs, earning around $20,000. Later, she obtained an H-1B visa, which allowed her to work legally. This period has come under scrutiny, with questions about the legality of her early work in the U.S. Melania's big break came with a Camel cigarette ad, photographed by Ellen von Unwerth. The campaign was featured on a Times Square billboard and in Rolling Stone magazine, giving her massive exposure in the modeling world. The opportunity arose because U.S. law required cigarette ads to feature models over the age of 25, limiting younger models and creating a unique opening for Melania. As her career gained momentum, she upgraded her living situation to a more upscale apartment off Park Avenue, a reflection of her growing success. Her modeling experience not only showcased her confidence in the spotlight, but also her ability to handle media attention, skills that would serve her well in the years to come. Little did Melania know, her modeling career would ultimately lead her to the White House. But what hurdles did she face on her journey to becoming a U.S. citizen and the wife of the 45th President of the United States? Let's explore further. Melania Trump has often expressed her deep appreciation for becoming a U.S. citizen, calling it the greatest privilege on earth, a reflection of how much she values her adopted country. Her journey to citizenship was closely tied to both her personal life and her modeling career in the U.S. She began the process in 2001 when she obtained a green card, officially known as a permanent resident card, which allowed her to live and work in the country permanently. However, her path to getting that green card hasn't been without controversy. Questions have arisen about her qualification for the EB-1 visa, often referred to as the Einstein visa. This visa is typically reserved for individuals with extraordinary abilities, such as top scientists, renowned business executives, or elite athletes. Since Melania's primary career was in modeling, some have questioned whether her accomplishments truly met the high bar required for this visa category. Despite the speculation and lingering questions, Melania continued to build her life in the U.S., laying the foundation for the prominent role she would eventually play. In 2006, Melania Trump reached two major milestones. She became a U.S. citizen and welcomed her son, Barron Trump, into the world. Around the same time, her husband Donald Trump began seriously considering a run for president. The timing of her citizenship is noteworthy. It happened before Donald's political ambitions took off, ensuring her immigration status wouldn't become a campaign issue later on. Melania's citizenship journey also brings attention to an interesting aspect of U.S. immigration policy. As a naturalized citizen, she could sponsor her parents, Victor and Amalia Knavs, to immigrate to the U.S. through a process known as chain migration. This system, which allows citizens to bring close family members to the country, was something Donald Trump criticized during his presidency. The Knavs immigration gained attention because, while the Trump administration worked to restrict family-based immigration, Melania's parents benefited from it, becoming U.S. citizens in 2018. Melania also made history as First Lady. She was the second foreign-born woman to hold the role, following Louisa Adams, who was born in England. Additionally, she became the first naturalized citizen to step into the position, adding another unique chapter to her remarkable story. Melania Trump's immigrant background sparked both interest and controversy. On one hand, her story fits the classic American dream, an immigrant who came to the U.S., built a successful career, and reached a prominent position. On the other hand, her husband's tough stance on immigration created a complicated and at times uncomfortable contrast with her own immigrant roots. Even after becoming a U.S. citizen, Melania and her son Baron kept their Slovenian citizenship. This dual citizenship highlights the complexity of immigrant identities, where people often maintain ties to their homeland while embracing their new country. Melania frequently discusses her immigration journey, focusing on the legal steps she took to become a citizen. Her story has been used to both praise and criticize parts of the U.S. immigration system depending on who's telling it. As First Lady, Melania's immigrant background gave her a unique perspective, potentially allowing her to bridge cultural gaps and share her personal experience at the highest level of government. However, there has been an ongoing debate about how much she actually used this background in her role and whether it played a significant part in her initiatives. Melania and Donald Trump first crossed paths in September 1998 at a party in New York, thanks to their mutual friend Paolo Zampoli. At the time, Trump was on another date, but he immediately showed interest in Melania and asked for her number. In a bold move, Melania turned the tables and asked for his number instead. Trump, impressed by her confidence, handed over several of his personal numbers. Their first date took place a week later, and Melania kept her cool throughout, perhaps to keep Trump intrigued. She also noticed some striking similarities between Trump and her father, which may have helped her feel more at ease in the budding relationship. Melania and Donald Trump's relationship had its ups and downs. They briefly broke up when Melania saw Trump's ex, Kara Young, leaving Trump Tower. But the separation was short-lived, with the couple reconciling within a week. As their romance developed, dating Trump opened up new opportunities for Melania. His fame provided her with connections and career prospects, and she found Trump to be more respectful than many of the men she had encountered in the modeling industry. Their relationship became public in 1999 when they appeared together on The Howard Stern Show, where they answered bold and personal questions. This was a turning point, marking the beginning of increased media scrutiny on Melania. As their relationship deepened, Trump frequently took Melania to business meetings, often using her beauty as a showcase, although he kept her out of the actual business discussions due to his complicated past with his first wife. In October 1999, when Trump announced he was running for the Reform Party's presidential nomination, Melania supported him, seeing herself in the role of a traditional First Lady, similar to figures like Betty Ford or Jacqueline Kennedy. The idea of a model becoming First Lady captured significant media attention, as it was an unconventional path. Their relationship faced a significant setback in January 2000 when news broke of their breakup. There were conflicting reports about who initiated it, but despite this, they stayed in touch and reunited a few months later. In 2001, Melania secured her status in the United States by receiving her green card. The following year, she moved into Trump Tower with Donald Trump. On her birthday, April 26, 2004, Trump proposed to Melania while they were on their way to the Met Gala. He later explained that her lack of pressure to get married made him more willing to commit, and he credited her influence for his recent successes. Melania proved to be more compatible with Trump than his previous wives, supporting him quietly while maintaining her own confidence. For the wedding, she traveled to Paris with Anna Wintour and Andre Leontali to select her wedding dress, ultimately choosing a design by John Galliano. Her appearance on the cover of Vogue in the dress generated excitement before the big day. The couple married on January 22, 2005, at the Bethesda by the Sea Church in Palm Beach, Florida. Their lavish reception at Trump's Mar-a-Lago estate was planned by Melania and event coordinator Preston Bailey, and it was attended by many high-profile guests, including celebrities, musicians, athletes, media executives, and TV personalities. Melania's sister, Inez, was her only bridesmaid. After their wedding, the Trumps divided their time between three homes: Trump Tower in New York, Trump National Golf Club in New Jersey, and Mar-a-Lago in Florida. Melania had a private spa built on the top floor of Trump Tower for her personal use. The couple did not spend much direct time together, preferring to live near each other but separately. Trump stated that this arrangement worked for him, as he didn't want to focus on the relationship when he came home. Melania accepted this dynamic, taking care of Trump without viewing herself as a gold digger. At Trump property events, she often made brief appearances before retreating back to their private residence. Melania did not push Trump to learn her native language and described herself as a non-nagging wife. Her pregnancy announcement became a media sensation, which led to her second Vogue cover. In a bold move, she posed pregnant in a bikini and open coat, combining her modeling past with her new role as an expectant mother. During her pregnancy, Melania focused on family, spending a lot of time with her sister, who moved to New York to be closer to her, and welcoming frequent visits from her parents, who provided strong support as she prepared for motherhood. This period allowed her to reconnect with her roots while beginning a new chapter in her life. Melania took an active role in setting up a nursery in Trump Tower, demonstrating her commitment to being an involved parent from the beginning. A significant event during her pregnancy was her baby shower at the FAO Schwarz toy store, where she made a memorable gesture by insisting that all the toys and gifts be donated to a children's hospital. This decision foreshadowed her future philanthropic efforts as First Lady and reflected her sense of social responsibility, as well as her desire to use her position to help others. On March 20, 2006, Melania and Donald Trump welcomed their son, Barron William Trump. They chose his name together, with Donald selecting the first name and Melania choosing the middle name. Donald had previously used Barron as a pseudonym when posing as his own public relations agent, adding a personal touch to their son's name. After Barron's birth, Melania's life changed dramatically. She became deeply involved in raising him and stepped back from many of the public events she had attended with her husband. This decision highlighted her commitment to hands-on parenting and her desire to create a stable and nurturing environment for Barron, despite their high-profile lifestyle. A notable aspect of her motherhood was her minimal use of nannies. Unlike many in her social circle, she insisted on raising Barron herself, relying on only occasional help. In Barron's early years, Melania's hands-on approach to parenting set her apart, demonstrating her deep commitment to being actively involved in her son's life. Her dedication to motherhood aligned with Donald Trump's expectations, as he had made it clear he wouldn't be involved in daily child-rearing tasks. Melania agreed, noting that she didn't want him to change diapers or put Barron to bed. This arrangement worked well for both, with Melania taking on the primary caregiving role. As Barron grew, Melania focused more on her role as a mother, stepping further away from the public spotlight. This shift affected her relationship with Donald, and reports suggested that he began seeing other women during this period, which made Melania uncomfortable. However, she was reportedly unaware of the women who later came forward to claim they had affairs with him. Melania also took on the role of stepmother to Donald's 4 children from previous marriages: Donald Jr., Eric, and Ivanka from his first marriage to Ivana Trump, and Tiffany from his second marriage to Marla Maples. She formed a particularly strong bond with Tiffany, who was just 6 when Melania began dating Donald. Melania made sure Tiffany felt included with her step-siblings, showing her commitment to blending their family. Melania also worked to create a multicultural environment for Barron by teaching him both English and Slovenian, her native language. This was an extension of her own immigrant experience, and she believed in passing on both cultures to her son. Her experiences as a mother deeply influenced her work as First Lady, with a particular focus on child welfare. Her Be Best initiative reflected this dedication, emphasizing well-being, education, and addressing issues such as bullying and drug addiction. Her commitment to parenting was so strong that she postponed moving to Washington, D.C., so Barron could finish his school year in New York. This decision further demonstrated her devotion to providing a stable environment for her son, even amidst the demands of public life. In 2010, Melania took a step into the business world by launching her own jewelry line, Melania Timepieces and Jewelry. This move showcased her entrepreneurial spirit and keen sense of design. The collection, sold through QVC, featured a variety of costume jewelry and fashion watches priced between $30 and $200, making it affordable for a wide audience. Notably, Melania chose not to use the Trump name for her brand, aiming to establish her own identity independent of her husband's famous surname. She corrected reporters who referred to the brand as Melania Trump, emphasizing her desire to build her own legacy. Melania's design process for her jewelry line was shaped by the diverse cities she had lived in, including New York, Palm Beach, and Paris. This blend of cultural influences allowed her to create designs that combine sophistication with personal experience. Her first collection sold out quickly, demonstrating her keen sense of fashion and her ability to connect with customers. This early success validated her understanding of fashion trends and her ability to build a brand that resonated with consumers. Building on this success, Melania continued to release new jewelry collections that customers loved. Her entrepreneurial spirit and attention to detail allowed her to expand her brand's reach and maintain a strong presence in the fashion world. In 2011, Melania took another bold step in expanding her business by entering the skincare industry. She launched Melania Mark Skincare, a line of caviar-infused products. The use of caviar, a luxurious ingredient commonly associated with high-end cuisine, helped to set her skincare products apart in the competitive beauty market. This move showcased her ambition and her ability to identify lucrative opportunities in the luxury beauty market, further solidifying her entrepreneurial legacy. Despite facing challenges with her skincare line, Melania demonstrated resilience and determination. Her legal dispute with New Sunshine, the company set to manufacture her products, stemmed from a contractual issue involving claims of special treatment. Melania's lawsuit for $50 million in lost revenue showcased the high stakes of her business ambitions. While the case was settled in her favor, the exact terms were kept private, but it highlighted her commitment to protecting her entrepreneurial interests. Although Melania eventually decided to end her jewelry line as her focus shifted to family and motherhood, her business ventures were an important chapter in her life. They reflected her creativity, business acumen, and ability to leverage her public profile to create successful products. By using only her first name for branding, she worked to establish her own identity, separate from her husband's. These ventures demonstrated her entrepreneurial spirit and gave her valuable experience, which would later influence her role as First Lady. Her background in branding and design helped shape her public persona in the White House, allowing her to strategically navigate her public image and the causes she supported. Her business experiences also gave her a deeper understanding of entrepreneurial issues and economic challenges, enriching her perspective on key issues during her time in the White House. End. No closing.